Some games just don't age. There are rare games that transcend time in gaming. It's subjective for each person which game is at the top of that category. But for me, without a doubt, Heroes of Might and Magic 3 take the title of the most legendary timeless classic that even to this day is such an incredible product to play. Was away for a week, and usually when I'm away I play Football Manager on my way too loud old laptop. This time around it felt too short of a vacation to get into Football Manager again, so I decided to play a bit of Heroes of Might and Magic 3. It was a long time ago since I've played it properly, meaning trying to finish campaigns, competing against CPU and whatnot. So excuse my poor gameplay footage and the limited footage overall. Only had a couple of days to play and I dared to go at it on expert difficulty and to play the Shadow of Death campaign that I've never played before. By the way, expert is only the middle difficulty, there's two more after expert. Some campaign missions felt very unfair, but I imagine replaying the mission over and over again is the key to success on harder difficulties after maps have been studied. Finished Gems campaign with a few cheats here and there, and almost finished Jealous campaign, which did seem easier than Gems. Then I got back from vacation, which means my time with Heroes was sadly over, but there's no reason why I can't share my thoughts on this legendary product. Welcome to another Ramblings of a Madman video, you Black Knight horse dick sucking bastards. Heroes 3 is probably one of the most played games on Balkan since its release in 1999. Don't think I know anyone my age who at least occasionally plays video games today still that hasn't played it. It was also a very popular LAN party game back in the day. I have fond memories of playing Heroes of Might and Magic 3 with my twin sisters who are 4 years younger than me. It was a game that suited everyone, even as kids and teenagers. If I recall, my sisters were about 10 to 12 and I was around 15 or 16 years of age. Something like that. We sucked at it, but loved to play it nonetheless. Couple weeks ago my sister told me the reason she can't play Heroes 3 anymore is because the day our dad died and we got the call from the hospital, we were all playing Heroes at that moment. So she has a strong negative emotional connection, which is fair. I don't, thankfully, which is great because I'd hate to not be able to play such an incredible game ever again. It's such an addictive game, forgot how addictive it is, which made the vacation go by so much faster. Is that a good thing? Well, you tell me, cause I don't know. What surprises me to this day is how great the graphics engine holds up. Realistic graphic style, or whatever it is, don't know the proper name or how else to describe it, works so damn well even today. I think probably the closest game that has the similar choice of models are Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, and maybe even Fallout a bit. I know it's not the same, but those games come to mind for some reason. Most of you know old Fallouts are still my favorite games. What most don't know is that Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 are my favorite fighting games. I will still even today choose Mortal Kombat over any other fighting game because of that nostalgia. But I digress. It seems that games with such more realistic graphic style resonate strong with me. Of course, graphic style preference is just a preference in the end. Heroes 3 offers so much more than great aging graphics. Amount of town choices is really good, especially with the DLCs, 11 in total. Each is vastly different, which is important. No matter how many times I've played some of the towns, even the weaker ones, I hadn't had enough of any of the towns because every time town changed, it was like playing a different game to an extent. Even today I can go back to the oldest towns that were played over and over again a long time ago and enjoy it immensely. For example, in Shadow of Death, Rampart is the focused town, at least for Gem and Jello campaigns. I never particularly liked Rampart, but in the campaign it didn't matter. This game is so interesting to play no matter which town is chosen. Clearing dwellings on the map, looting many artifacts, choosing gold versus experience, leveling heroes, amassing the first proper army, the challenge. Oh, the challenge. If I recall correctly, Heroes 3 is one of the first games that taught me to strive towards harder difficulties. Playing on the lowest difficulty game is boring as hell, because the outcome is predetermined. CPU can't handle even a normal creature growth combined with bad plays. Next, the difficulty already offers somewhat of a challenge, depending on the user's skill level. It's a great difficulty for learning the game to see how CPU functions and what to focus on, because losing can and will happen on a normal difficulty. Then we have the expert difficulty, the one I've played on. Jump in difficulty is quite big, especially in the campaign. Failed the very first mission badly. Was shocked how much more powerful the CPU got compared to me. Then I had to change the strategy to play much more aggressively, which worked better. Finished the first and got into the second campaign mission. Was much more confident this time around due to understanding of how aggressively the game needs to be played against the CPU. Well, got my ass kicked again. It hit me that knowing the map is a big factor. This is where cheating happened, mainly to reveal the whole map. I hate cheating in games, but due to few days available with Heroes 3 there was no time to redo missions over and over again, which I would gladly do otherwise. Can't even imagine how much more difficult it would be to play on the next two difficulty settings. I guess one wrong move and it's over. Granted, CPU cheats on expert and above, it's quite clear. Army generals, let's call them generals instead of heroes to reduce the confusion, somehow got really high stats, and not only through artifacts. Armies they would amass were really powerful, strangely powerful. I hate when CPU or AI cheat, it diminishes the value of a challenge for me a lot. But it needs to be said that AI does play much more aggressively on hard difficulties. That part I like, meaning behavioral changes. It really pushes the player to adapt and overcome. CPU cheats, alright, we'll have to utilize every available advantage, even a few exploits in order to counter that. Of which there are a couple. Watched a tutorial a couple weeks ago for some reason, and there is a ton of stuff that the player can do to counter CPU. Fair is fair, I guess. Have to commend the amount of generals and the character progression. While I don't like random stuff like being taught a random skill by visiting an NPC or having to choose between two random skills each level, I do like the amount of skills and where their focus lies. Every general also has specialization which makes them unique. Not unique enough, but unique overall. Next to specialization, generals are divided into might and magic categories. Might heroes focus on higher attack and defense stat that boost the whole army next to more army oriented skills. And magic heroes focus on high mana pool and high spell damage. Amount of spells is really good as well, so there's plenty of tactical things that can be implemented into the overall strategy. Only thing I wish they've done for the HD edition is to give each general a unique model, so that they could be differentiated from one another. The whole town upgrade mechanic is relatively simple, but when combined with the map gameplay it becomes quite strategic on what to build next due to resource management, and urgency due to aggressive CPU. So town mechanics are perfectly utilized and crucial to success. I also love each town's aesthetics. All towns are vastly different to one another, which helps in personalizing them. Towns look perfect aesthetically in my opinion. Nice amount of details, and the graphical style of the game has elevated towns even more. I was a bit surprised how well the game still holds up today. Heroes 3 is still an incredible product that doesn't seem to be aging at all. Don't take this as a review or anything like that, it's just a random video about what is for me the least aging game of all time. Tell me yours in the comment section. Check out the description for Patreon subscribes or merch if you're interested in helping the channel further, and thanks for watching.